Welcome back to La Mirada Park. My name is Dave Vincent alongside David Fink for the Big Ball Nationwide Series Women's Finals. We have Tanisha Groomes going up against our visitor from Ireland, Catriona Casey, our current world #1 player on the WPH Race for 8 Women's Tour this past season. As we view into this announcement, our referee, Sal Duenas, will be putting this one on. It's the best 2 out of 3 to 15 tiebreaker played also to 15, and it's rally scoring. As earlier, or going on right now, the third place match with Jessica Gawley and Tracy Davis. They're getting ready to play.
This is Catriona's first ever 3-wall big ball tournament. She just played 3-wall big ball for the first time 2 days ago in Tucson on a court that's completely different than this. And yet she came here, defeated Ashley Moeller in her first round, who's been ranked #2 throughout her entire Women's Players Cup career, and then defeated Tracy Davis, who's only lost 2 outdoor matches in the last 10 years. So you'd have to say, Dave, this is the greatest crossover performance, win or lose, in this match that we've ever seen.
There's a nice little right corner kill from Tanisha Groomes to start off this match, 1-0.
A lot of buzz about this match, and I can tell you, Dave, Tanisha is extremely nervous in this match.
I don't think Catriona's ever had to run that far to return a serve before in her entire life. She's going to have a real quick lesson here.
Maybe in the 60x30 alley, the big alley.
Maybe, but still.
Nice start here for Tanisha.
Oh, and that
could have been an avoidable there. I don't know if you have another angle to show that replay, but Tanisha did cross there on a big setup.
Tanisha out of the server's box there on the serve. Referee didn't pick that up. That ball might make it, and it does. Tanisha just throws that ball over the front wall. Let's take a look at that return. Look how far Catriona has to go out of play, and then she gets back into the red carpet. And Tanisha wrists one over the top of the front wall there.
I believe, Dave, that Tanisha has maybe the best serve in 3-wall big ball. She and Juan Santos. It's just amazing the angles that she creates.
She hits that ball into the ground. There's a point there for Catriona Casey. First time visit to a outdoor 3-wall court in the United States. First time playing it, as you said earlier. Although there was a little bit of rustling from the crowd saying that she was practicing with the big ball back home, and you know that's about the most ludicrous thing that you could possibly think of. She wasn't practicing for this tournament back in Ireland. She was practicing for the 4-wall nationals, where she won
last week.
And you know how the Irish are, Dave.
Right.
They take this very serious. They don't play with a different ball just because they're going to a random tournament in California. It was about one of the craziest things I've ever heard.
I sparred with Catriona throughout the week in 3-wall big ball, also with Aoife McCarthy and Hall of Famer John Bike. It's just amazing, her court presence and court awareness. She's always where she's supposed to be, and she very rarely makes hand errors.
Look at that beautiful serve inside the line, and she gets another point now, 5-2. You're right, she floats in there, and it seems like she learns as quick as anybody I've ever seen.
Well, I would call her game highly adaptable.
Look how she put that ball just perfectly out the door. That's hard for people to do when they've never crossed over like this, and then she hits the ball up and over, and a quick timeout being called now from Tanisha.
Well, Tanisha is very nervous. You can see her hands actually shaking. She's not yet relaxed, but I've noticed, Dave, throughout this weekend that players trying to hit the ball overhand are hitting the fence because I think in your mind you think you have a certain amount of wall with which to hit, and then you realize, oh, the fence has come into play. It's hard to hit the ball overhand and not hit the fence is what I think I'm trying to say, because the fence literally doesn't take to an overhand shot.
Earlier we watched Sal Duenas go up against Shorty Ruiz in an earlier match for the round of 16 into the 8s, and Sal defeated Shorty there to advance into the quarterfinals. And there is our referee who's basically pulling all the ref duties for all of these major matches for us on this finals day, and giving him a little tribute there as he took down one of his big nemesis.
Yeah, that was an excellent match. There was a lot of talk going into that match, and Sal did his talking with his hands and his shots. Had to feel good, and then almost advanced to the semifinals. Came up short against Alfredo Morales.
Dave, you're talking about, you know, the difference of hitting this ball as a small ball player going in and playing big ball. It's when you take that overhand shot, you assume that small ball is going to roll out of your hand, and so you try to make the big ball roll, and what it does, it hits your palm, the spot where it would roll out, and it just flies over the roof.
Yeah, I think that's also a big part of it. Not only the low wall, but also like you said, it does not roll through your hand.
So you have to hit the ball like a paddle instead of letting it roll. If you try to feather that ball, it just doesn't work. And there's another error from Tanisha Groomes, and another point will be on the scoreboard for Catriona Casey from Ireland.
And watching the great, and what is that there, Dave?
That was a huge bug in the corner over there.
But watching the great Tracy Davis yesterday, who uses the overhand shot quite a bit, she hit the fence 16 times in 3 games against Catriona Casey. Cost her the match, really.
That was a beautiful shot, and that's also, like you said, the lower front wall makes it a little bit more difficult. 8-4 is the score, first game. First time playing in a tournament. Outdoor big ball is our current #1 player, Catriona Casey, Players Champion and National Champion right now.
Oh, and that's a terrible error there from Tanisha. I think a sign of nerves there is you very rarely see her miss that shot.
She's already taken 1 timeout. She's going to have to take another one here if this keeps happening.
Well, Tanisha has an incredible, look at that get.
Unbelievable, really.
Tanisha has an incredible 2-wall serve, but we're not seeing her use it to the left here. I guess because that fence comes into play. And
well, they have that gentleman's agreement not to do that.
We have seen her use the 2-wall serve to the right, though, effectively.
There's a good serve. You know, and Catriona has this hidden power, too.
Yeah. She can absorb power. There's no way to overpower Catriona. And now another timeout from Tanisha, who is up against it here at 11-4.
I would tap into some of these players out there that watch this game, certainly that are on our side, and get some advice. In the meantime, we're looking at Catriona Casey here, who gets that advice from Aoife McCarthy, who's traveling here to help out. And it looks like that Tracy Davis just won her match against Jessica Gawley. I thought we were witnessing the beginning of that match, but it was a halftime or some type of timeout, and there's Ricardo Ruiz.
Soon to be a dad himself.
Soon to play doubles.
Yeah, well, his beautiful wife, Nancy, is about 5 months pregnant with their first, so exciting times for the Ruiz family.
That was Martin Ruiz and his lovely wife. That's their baby that he's holding there. And plus mom, Veronica, was there. Got the whole family, the whole Ruiz family here. Is Catriona Casey all framed up with the WPH Outdoor?
Yeah, we get a shot here for Catriona Casey and Aoife McCarthy, who are not just here to play through-wall handball. They're spending the summer in Tucson at the WPH headquarters coaching 50 junior handball lessons per week, as well as helping out here at this event and also in Vegas. So it's a very exciting time for them and also for us at the World Players of Handball.
What is, you know, how many kids total will they see?
Well, they're going to see 180 kids per week, and every session has 3 weeks. Every session is 3 weeks, and each session there's more kids coming in, new kids. So they'll be coaching up to 500 different kids during the summer.
Great work, junior WPH. I like it. Back in from that tiebreaker, I guess I should say that timeout.
Catriona could have won this point a couple of times here. This could be one of those swing points. At 11-4, Tanisha could get herself back into this game if she wins this rally.
Tanisha's hitting the ball really hard right now. And you can see that because she's pushing Catriona so far back. And then she does that little soft hit. That could be the kind of the formula here. Hit the ball hard and then hit that little soft one into the corner when Catriona's too far back. And maybe that's the way to do it. And there's our first ball into the fence.
Well, that's a ground rule double in baseball.
What's the ref going to call here? He called a point.
Well, it's not illegal to serve the 2-wall serve to the left. It's just, I think, was an agreement that the players had made amongst themselves to not serve to the left on this court.
Wow, okay, so it's odd to see this. This one could have gone out. Catriona cuts it off, misses with her left hand. You saw her take a few steps forward there to cut that off. Now Tanisha could sneak one to the right and really make it a tough day for Catriona, and that was one that just went out the door. And look at this return of serve here, left hand.
Well, even if you are hitting that serve to the left, you have to hit it perfectly to bounce it into the fence. It's not just a guarantee that if you hit that right side wall, it bounces into the fence. You need the perfect angle and trajectory to bounce the ball into the fence.
That was a terrible mistake right there from Catriona.
Catriona not really floating there. She caught herself flat-footed and was unable to change direction.
Do you think that she's affected by the crowd just a little bit here?
Well, I couldn't see how she wouldn't be. She's certainly never experienced anything like this. She told me in Ireland the crowd doesn't ever make a sound unless the score is tied. I was fortunate there.
Checked up for her. Catriona is really just in the back court here facing this onslaught from Tanisha, who's now got 10 points on the scoreboard, going to 15, 10-12.
there's
another
another
one.
serve
That's the third ball into the fence.
I think it was the fourth. But regardless.
Oh, there it is. There's that ball I was telling you about. You sneak one down the right. Now, that's completely legal, but she got that because of the setup onto the fence. Now, Catriona doesn't know what to do here. We're all tied at 12. That's the fourth into the fence. Catriona looking like, what can I do here? Referee gives her that sort of, deer in the headlight look, and now Catriona just says, I'm going to call a timeout.
Now, are these serves that Catriona would be able to return on another court? I mean, they're bouncing at least 7-8 feet off the court, so she would be into another court trying to return these, having to hit over the wall. But
they're going to be hard no matter what. Even if this gentleman's rule was followed, you would still have a tough time getting these back. As you can see, she's having a tough time to the right, and that's her strong hand.
Well, she's got to play to defend the serve to the left, so when Tanisha sneaks the serve to the right, I mean, she's already leaning left. She's out of position.
Some views of our beautiful park we have here and the play that's going on. All the players enjoying this action, this beautiful sunny day that we're having. I mean, every day is sunny in California, but this is ridiculous. Mid-80s, touching 90 degrees out here in La Mirada Park. There's Fuji Hernandez lacing on his blue Nikes.
But it actually may say 90, but it feels more like 115 with the humidity and the lack of breeze in the air. And I think that'll affect Catriona more than anything. She's come from Ireland where the average temperature in the summer is 68 degrees with a stiff breeze. Now she comes here, it's at least 40 degrees warmer on the court than what she's accustomed.
This is where you have to bring a lot of water.
And sunscreen.
I always like to set my water right near the side of the court so I can just walk over. Every now and then a ball will fly over the roof and you get a little quick sip.
Another serve into that fence.
Oh, that's an overhand tomahawk chisel. Let's look at that again. That was actually an amazing shot. I think that's with a fist, Dave. Let's look at her hand. That is a fist. Look at the impact as we put the teleprompter on here where that ball is hitting that front wall.
That's about 3 inches high on an overhand spike.
Wow, that's an amazing shot there from Tanisha. Now, it's not all about the fence. Tanisha plays it safe on that last one. Oh, and Tanisha puts it into the ground. Now Casey gets another point on that scoreboard, 13-14. We're going to 15. You have to win by 1.
These are the games that traditionally Tanisha finds a way to win. She's only lost one Women's Players Cup big ball match in her career. That was in Vegas last year. And that ball could have easily flown out.
See what Tanisha does from that angle. And she hits that corner and takes down that first game. That was just a little soft lob back to that front right corner. And Tanisha Groomes defeats Catriona Casey there in game number 1.
And go to the mix of the sun, the beautiful weather, and the casino, and playing outdoor racquetball. I mean, it's a trifecta. What else do you want? It's like having a tailgate party for a weekend.
enjoy it. It's fun. It's a great event.
This is Vegas!
You're watching the WPH Big Ball Outdoor Cup Series, stop number 3. This is the nationwide, brought to you by EDTL Handball, and it's a big quest for this tournament, the 3-wall ball Outdoor World Championships in Las Vegas, September 10th through the 14th, where we have handball, paddleball, racquetball, all at the Stratosphere. As we get back in really quickly here for game number 2, as Tanisha Groomes gets that very first point. Dave Vincent alongside David Fink, as we see that first point go up on that scoreboard, brought to you by EDTL Handball.
Huge comeback in the first game for Tanisha, who trailed, and there's another serve into the fence. Tanisha trailed 11-4 before going to this serve into that left fence, which is within the rules.
It's within the rules, but
it might not be within the unwritten rules.
That's true.
Kind of like stealing signs.
See, now
second base.
You see, Catriona played that one different. She took it with her right hand instead of trying to take it with her left. I think if you take it with your left, it hits the fence.
Well, the problem is if you take it with your right, you've committed to that serve to the left. So if she does sneak one to the right, you're totally out of position.
That makes it equal.
You know, also, Dave, and there was a great serve right there, but, you know, Catriona could try to do that serve herself.
Well, unless you have years of experience practicing that serve, there's just no way you can hit it. I mean, Dave, you and I play handball, but we couldn't go in there and hit that serve and make it hit the fence, not without a lot of practice.
I've played with players before where you call a timeout in a big doubles finals and you tell your opponent, your partner, I need you to lob the ball to the other guy. Just lob it. And they get in there and hit the ball into the ceiling, and there's a side out. It's just something they don't practice. They're not used to it.
Yeah.
And it's just what happens. It's
right.
If it's not into your head, it's not programmed into you, you just can't do it right.
Well, it takes a lot of repetition.
That was a great serve right there from Tanisha, who hits that ball perfect out the right door.
And neither of these ladies, Dave, are used to losing. Catriona this year became the first player to ever start a race event and never lose a match. She won all 3 starts in the Women's Race for 8 Tour, including the U.S. Open, the NYAC, and the Players' Championship in Salt Lake City. She also won the National Championship last week, the Collegiate Nationals.
How is Catriona still into that rally there? That ball misses the front wall. That was an amazing get on the serve. But you're right, just not used to losing at all.
And like I said, Dave, Tanisha, with a great serve there, has only lost 1 match in the history of the Players' Cup, and that was to Danielle Daskalakis in Las Vegas. She came back from match point down in the previous event at the Las Vegas Light event against Jessica Gawley. The tournament before that, she came back at Pico Rivera against Tracy Davis down match point. So she's faced match points and she's overcome them.
You know, having these pro stops really allow the players to find out who they are. And that's another great point there from Tanisha Groomes. 9-3 now here in the women's finals of the Big Ball Nationwide Series from WPH Outdoor and EDTL Handball, and she's just really putting on a serving clinic right now. This has nothing to do with the fence. I mean, maybe a little resonating something to do with the fence from earlier, that Catriona now feels like she has to guard that left line. But great serving from Tanisha Groomes. As we take a look at this crowd here, barbecue pit still flipping the same hamburgers from earlier. That's what it looks like.
That's Timbo Gonzalez, very proud of his attire. It takes him 35 minutes to put together his outfit for a handball match. Pulling up those socks, pulling on those tight spandex shorts, getting the hair just so, the earring.
He has to look good when he's arguing with the line judges. Timbo Gonzalez there, as our live cameras have a quick look at him here in our broadcast booth. He can hear everything we're saying too. Yeah, Tanisha just looks unstoppable. Now she's on fire, and this is why she is the #1 player and has been for the last 2 or 3 years.
Remember, it was Tanisha coming back from 11-4 deficit in the first game. Doesn't look like Catriona will be able to do the same.
Let's look at that replay there. Catriona gives you a nice little underhand paddle shot.
And now we have the same score in reverse that we had in game 1. And Catriona with a short serve there, handing a point and the serve to Tanisha. Now 3 points from this championship. You'd have to think this title would mean as much to Tanisha of all the ones that she's won.
Yeah,
Beating a girl with the resume of Catriona Casey.
I like that little soft paddle. She did that to end game number 1. She does it again here in game 2 at 13-5 now. Just like the last games, Dave, I think we'll take headsets off and run out and get interviews after this thing ends. And I know you're going to give a great presentation. We're at 14-5 here. You will have a presentation with the winning players and actually both finalists in the award booth at 14-5 here. Tanisha Groomes gives a beautiful serve to Catriona Casey, but then floors her first strike. And what I'm going to do is take my headsets off and run out and get a quick interview with Tanisha if she wins this point here. We'll see what happens.
I think I'll stay in then before the presentation. Listen in on that interview.
Okay, I'm going to take mine off. I'm just going to prepare.
A lot of preparing going on here in the booth as Catriona stays alive for one more point, and Dave's already headed into the gallery to catch a shot of Tanisha when and if this match ends. Tanisha needs to win just one of the next 8 rallies to win this match. Catriona Casey really up against it here. If this was traditional scoring, maybe there's a glimmer of hope as, you know, she can win points on her serve and earn side outs, but with rally scoring, virtually impossible, as she literally cannot afford to make one mistake, and Tanisha needs to win just one rally. And another point for Catriona Casey, who after losing the first game 15-13, now trailing 8-14 here, down match point. And Tanisha with another unbelievable overhand kill. And Dave, you're going to get a word with Tanisha here as she gets her congratulations and high fives from her loyal supporters, but it'd be interesting to hear what she thinks about this match. Dave, down to you.
Thanks a lot, Dave. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can catch up to her right now. Matter of fact, she's right around the corner. There's a lot of people out here wanting to shake her hand. Here's what I recommend you do. Go ahead and take your headsets off. You come down and give out these presentations, these trophies to the ladies as I try to get a real brief interview here with Tanisha Groomes, who just hugs her girlfriend there, and looks as if the number 2 player, Ashley Moeller, waiting in line. There she is. It's nice to see that happen. Dave, you get ready for that presentation. I'll be over there in a minute. I'll bring Tanisha over. All right, that's cool. There you are. You're already out of the booth.
Was that tougher than some of the other ones, or?
Yeah, it was very different. The small ball game in a big ball game is different because I'm used to playing people that play big ball. So the whips and the serves, the high serves, like I'm used to a faster, more solid like power game. So it kind of throws me off of my game a little bit. But it was tough. It's a good competition. Different. I like playing different people in all the finals, different tournaments. Everybody that I play, it's always a different game for me. So it challenges me and it keeps pushing me more to just keep practicing and go out there and do what I have to do.
Midway through the first game, you called a timeout. You were trailing really bad, and then you got some power pellets from your Pac-Man game out here somehow. Went in and changed your serve up. In fact, from that point on, you had about 7 different serves that were all just dominating. So what happened there?
At first, like I said, when I play different people, I'm nervous because I don't know their game. So I got in there and I was worried about how she's going to serve, where she's going to serve it, put it. And then after I took a timeout, I started realizing she's serving it to me the same. So I got to go in there and just, instead of waiting for it to bounce, cut it, put more power into it, move her, change my serve up, don't serve it straight, use the walls. Just just change everything that I was doing and just be more aggressive. I didn't start off like really tough. I was kind of just taking it easy and slow to kind of like put myself up. And then she got the lead, so I had to come back and just listen to everybody out here and said, don't worry about anything, just play your game, get in there. And it kind of helped me out a lot.
After that, you were trailing in that first game. After you took that timeout, you came in and you were hitting the ball, like, I would say 25% harder.
Yeah.
So you were like, doing what you do best and being aggressive and strong. And was that something somebody told you? You just said to yourself, I need to wake up?
No, somebody told me. They were like, come on, you have power, put it in there. Like, wake up, stop playing how you're playing. You know how you play, get in there, do your game. And then I just went in, listened to what like the people out here told me, and then everything just changed from there. So
How many yellow jerseys do you have now?
I think I have like almost 10.
Okay.
I'm getting at 10.
Almost like a grandmaster.
I have so many, I started getting my crowd's names and stuff. Like, I have so
Your
many
fan club?
Yeah, my
All right.
fan club.
Well, congratulations on
Thank
another
you.
win. All
Thank
right.
you for a great tournament.
Yep. This is a selfie hug. All right. That's a selfie hug.
All right. First of all, I want to congratulate both these ladies on an amazing match. I mean, that was some of the best handball I think I've ever seen. So let's give both of them a big round of applause. First, we're going to recognize our runner-up. Catriona Casey came all the way from Ireland. She adjusted to this game. She's been two of the best players in this game. And it's an amazing competition. So, Catriona, congratulations.
That camera. Look at that.
Okay. Our champion, very deserving, Tanisha Groomes. Tanisha, you played outstanding today. I think it's probably the best I've ever seen you play, and you had to do it against Catriona because she's a great player. Tanisha's now won every stop this season. She's by far the undisputed #1 player, so please come up here and accept it. Great job. Great job.
Great award presentation right there with our Dave Fink, who's now making his way back into the broadcast booth. My name is Dave Vincent. Tanisha Groomes taking down Catriona Casey in the women's finals here at La Mirada Park. Dave, good presentation there with the ladies.
Thank
and crowd putting their hands together, a nice big crowd forming to, really see some good action. We had a great second game, especially in the men's finals, and that first game really was great because we saw some amazing play from Juan Santos when he defeated Samson Hernandez. But that was also exciting in its own way, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, it was extremely exciting. You didn't know what to expect with Catriona playing in her first ever big ball event. Tanisha's the veteran. She's dominated this tour. And it was Catriona who started quickly in the first game, built a huge 11-4 lead. Tanisha caught her second time out at 11-4 and really changed the match from that point forward, developed a serve that really changed the momentum completely in the match. She came back to win that first game 15-13 and cruised in game number 2. But I don't think there's anybody that does not want to see these two play again. I wish we could see them play again next week because it's such an interesting contrast in styles. Tanisha has that traditional 3-wall big ball game, powerful right hand, stiff arm left, great serves. And then Catriona is just that all-around player. She's got two great hands. She adapts the game so well, and I think she would continue to improve. And this would be an amazing rivalry to watch tournament after tournament.
I agree with you. It's really been a great presentation here of watching good handball. If the first two matches of our broadcast are any indication of what we're going to see for the men's doubles, then we're in for a treat. We'll have the Timbo Gonzalez, Ricky Ruiz, Manny Razzle Dazzle, and Samson Hernandez match coming up a little later on. But in the meantime, it was Tanisha Groomes taking down Catriona Casey here in the women's finals. For Dave Fink, my name is Dave Vincent. Thanks for watching the WPH Big Ball Nationwide Series brought to you by EDTL Handball, Junior WPH, and of course WPH Outdoor. We'll have more handball action streaming at WPHlive.tv.